Hey there, fourth grade. How's everybody doing today? And welcome back to another remote learning math lesson with Mr. Renzi. So before we get started, today you will need your 7-digit place value chart, your template. Place that right in a sheet protector there. Make sure you have your dry erase marker and your eraser ready to go. You will also need your math journal for this video lesson. So let's go ahead and get started as I shrink myself into the corner. All right, so let's start here. Remember, you can hit pause at any time to go and get the materials that you need or to work a little bit ahead. So here we go. Grade 4, lesson 1.2, place value concepts. And you'll need your math mat, your 7-digit place value chart in the sheet protector. You will also need math journal pages 4 and 5. And after this video, you will complete Homelink 1.2. So let's review from the other day. We learned two really important words, place versus value. And put them together, and what have you got? Place value. Remember that place is where the number sits. It can sit in the ones place, the tens place, the hundreds place, the thousands place, and on and on and on. Whereas value is how much the number is worth. So the 3 in 358 is worth 300. The 5 is worth 50, and then the 8 is worth 8. Awesome job. And we also took a look at our place value chart. And I want to just show you that when we were in our younger grades, we learned our ones, we learned the tens, and we learned the hundreds. And we were able to make numbers that went all the way up to 999. But once we added one more, it took us into another place. It took us into the thousands place. And then we have the 10,000s, and then we have the 100,000s. And which separates my thousands from my hundreds is a little comma that is named thousand. So whenever you see that comma, you're going to say the word thousand. And then the final, if we went to bigger than the 100,000s, it will take us into the millions. And that's where you will find another comma separating the millions from the 100,000s. So let's try to practice writing a number right now on our sheet protector. So here's our first number that I want you to write. The number is 8,532. 8,532. Go ahead and write that number. And let's see if we got the same answer. 8,000, here's the word thousand, that comma. 8,532. Now, if I wanted to find the value of the 8, well, my value is how much it is worth. So the value of the 8 would simply be worth 8,000. And I write that as a number, 8,000. That's the value of the 8. But then we have the place. What place is the 8? Where does the 8 sit? Well, the 8 sits in the thousands place. So its place is the thousands. Its value is a number, 8,000. Awesome job. All right, you're going to try one now right in Nearpod. So I'm going to read you a number. You're going to write that number on your sheet protector. You're going to find the place of a certain number and then the value of that number. Okay, so here goes our number. 9,652. 9,652. Go ahead and complete the Nearpod activity. All right, awesome job. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to try to write a number that is a lot bigger than the last one. Your sheet protector will help you. This number is going to take us out into the hundred thousands place. That means the number is going to have 6 digits. Let's try and write this number. 437,000. So there I heard the comma. 437,285. 437,000, comma, 285. So go ahead and write that number on your sheet protector. 437,285. Now this is a number that we have written in standard form, but I can also take that number and write it in expanded form. Expanded form is when I take all of the values and I add up the value of each digit. 400,000 plus 30,000 plus 7,000 plus 200 plus 80 plus 5 equals 437,285. So every digit has a specific value. And in expanded form, we add up the value of every digit. Now we call it expanded form because we are expanding our number. We're stretching it out. We can also take that same number and write it in word form. Word form is when we spell out everything in words. 437,285. So we can take a number and write it in standard form. We can write it in expanded form. And we can write it in word form. Now let's practice writing some more numbers. We're going to write 2 numbers on our place value chart. So you're going to want to get that ready for you. And here is our very first number that we're going to try to write. The number is 862,543. I'll say that again. 862,543. 862,543. So let's see if you got that same thing that I have here. 862,543. Awesome job. And here's our next number that we're going to write. So our next number is 869,735. 869,735. Let's see if you got the same answer. 869,735. Now, here's my question. What's the value of the 8 in both numbers? Well, the value in both numbers is 800,000. It's the same value. What's the value of the 6 in both numbers? Well, in both numbers, it's 6 10,000s. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000. How would I determine which number is greater? Well, I can't use my first digit because they're both the same value. And I can't use the second digit because they're also the same value. So now I must look in my thousands place. Which number has more in the thousands place? Would it be the 862,000 or the 869,000? Well, if you said 869,735, you are correct. This number is the number that is greater than the other number. Remember that we have our symbols greater than, less than, and equal to. So if I wanted to write a number sentence, my number sentence would be 862,543 is less than 869,735. So we call this a number sentence. And it is a comparison number sentence because I'm using one of our symbols that compares numbers. Awesome job. All right. We're going to be moving into our math journal at this time, and today we are working on math journal pages 4 and 5, and it has a hockey theme. Hockey game attendance. Now, attendance means how many people go to a game. Now, right now, no people are heading into games. But when we were able to go to sporting events, some hockey teams would have greater attendances than others. It would all depend whether the team was winning or whether the team was popular. Well, let's take a look at numbers 1 through 4. You're going to go ahead and put in the less than or the greater than symbol for each pair of numbers. If you need to use your place value chart to help you, you can. Go ahead and hit the pause button and complete numbers 1 through 4. When you're done, press play to see how you did. And let's check our work. For number 1, 508 is less than 588. For number 2, 2,675 is less than 3,675. For number 3, 1,833 is less than 1,933. And for number 4, 57,883 is greater than 56,838. Awesome job. Let's move on to numbers 5 and 6. This table shows the total attendance for the 2013-14 regular season for 10 National Hockey League, which is the NHL, teams. So let's take a look at our table. On the left column, we have the NHL team: Buffalo, Carolina, Chicago, Detroit, Minnesota, Montreal, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, Vancouver. And on the right side, we have the total attendance that each of those teams had during the 2013-14 regular season. So we're going to have to study this table in order to tell which team had the greatest attendance and which team had the least attendance. Let's look at number 5. Which team had the largest total attendance? which team had the smallest total attendance? For number 6, compare the attendance for Philadelphia and Minnesota. Which team had the greater attendance? So for this one, we're writing the name of the team. Which team? Which team? So we're writing a word there. How do you know which team had the greatest attendance? Which place did you have to look at? And then write a comparison number sentence. This is where you're going to use greater than, less than, between the two numbers. And then number 7 is going to ask you to compare the attendance for Vancouver and Montreal. Which team had the greater attendance? How do you know? And write a comparison number sentence. Go ahead and complete problems 5, 6, and 7 using the NHL attendance table. Hit that pause button, and when you're finished completing page 4 in your journal, resume the video so that you can see if you got these answers correct. All right, let's check to see how you did. Which team had the largest attendance? Well, that was Chicago. Chicago had more attendance than any other team. Which team had the smallest total attendance? Well, that was Carolina. For number 6, which team had the greater attendance between Philadelphia and Minnesota? Philadelphia had the greater attendance. And how did you know? So this is a sample answer, but Philadelphia had an attendance greater than 800,000. Minnesota had an attendance less than 800,000. And my comparison number sentence was 813,411 is greater than 758,729. And for number 7, compare the attendance for Vancouver and Montreal. Which team had the greater attendance? Montreal. How do you know? Montreal had more than 870,000. Vancouver had about 810,000. And 870,000 is greater than 810,000. Write a comparison number sentence. 872,193 is greater than 810,594. Awesome job. Let's move on to Math Journal, page 5. So we're going to be doing the same thing again using that NHL attendance table. For number 8, compare the attendance for Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. However, be careful. Which team had the smaller attendance? So we're looking for the number that is less. How do you know? You're going to explain and then explain how you compared the numbers. And write a comparison number sentence. Go ahead and complete problem number 8. Hit that pause button. When you're done, hit play so that we can go over our work. All right, let's see how you did. So which team had the smaller attendance? Well, that was Tampa Bay. How do you know? Now, here's my sample answer. You might have something that is similar to it. Both numbers have the same value for the 100,000s, the 10,000s, and the thousands places. Once I looked at the hundreds place, Pittsburgh had 300 and Tampa Bay had 0 hundred. I knew that Tampa had to be less because 0 hundredths is less than 3 hundredths. How did you compare the numbers? I wrote the numbers in expanded form and can compare the hundredths place. 700,000 plus 60,000 plus 3,000 plus 300 plus 40 plus 4. 700,000 plus 60,000 plus 3,000 plus 0 plus 90 plus 6. So we can see here that all of my number values are the same until I get to the hundreds place. And then I had to write the comparison number sentence. Our last problem, and it's a tricky one. Of all of the teams that we have in our table, Chicago and Philadelphia and Tampa Bay and Carolina and Montreal and Vancouver and all the other ones, our challenge now is to list the teams in order from the greatest to the least. Now, we already know what our greatest team is. Our greatest team we know is Chicago. We've answered that question before. So our first team is going to be Chicago. Now, on the other side, you're going to have to write the attendance for Chicago. Now, we also know the city or the team that was the least, and that was Carolina. So we knew that Chicago was the greatest and Carolina was the least. So a good mathematician will go back to their table and cross out Chicago and Carolina, because now we only have to look at some of our other teams in order to put them into order. All right, my friends, your job is to complete problem number 9. Hit that pause button. When you come back and play the video, we'll see if you got it correct. All right, 4th grade, here are the teams in order. Chicago, Detroit, Montreal, Philadelphia, Vancouver, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, Buffalo, Minnesota, and Carolina. Hopefully you were able to get that challenge correct, which would make you a master at putting some large numbers in order from least to greatest. All right, my 4th grade mathematicians, your job is going to be to complete Homelink 1.2. Go ahead and get started. Have a great day, and we'll see everybody real soon.